Hi, it's Miss Mary with an October Book Nook for everybody. And you guys, I am so excited about the books I have to share today. The first one we actually got here at the library back in May, but I didn't even see it until yesterday. This is Lone Wolf on Vacation, and I loved this book so much. And then I got to the end, and I found out there were more Lone Wolf books, and they were checked out. So I'm just going to have to wait for you guys to bring them back before I can read them. So anyway, Lone Wolf. Let me tell you a little bit about Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf is hilarious. Lone Wolf really likes to be alone, and things just keep going wrong for poor Lone Wolf. So, and this one in particular, sorry, I'm so excited about Lone Wolf. I forgot to tell you about the author and illustrator. So Lone Wolf is written by Kaya Thomas with pictures by K-Fi Steele. Yes. And it is published by Neil Porter Books, Holiday House, New York. So, oh my goodness, look. Here is Lone Wolf ready to go on vacation. Oh, he was so excited. He couldn't wait to go on vacation and to do all the things. He couldn't wait to be alone in new places. Oh my goodness. And then he gets on a bus. Oh my goodness. But the bus driver and the other person on the bus just love to sing and sing and sing and sing. And that doesn't feel like a very alone thing. And he gets to his hotel, but oh my goodness, he has to share an elevator with somebody, and then the elevator gets stuck. And when he gets to his room, you will never believe what happens when he gets to his room. And then he goes to the pool. And of course, somebody keeps jumping in the pool and just splashing, splashing, splashing them. And then there's a hike. I don't want to ruin the ending. It's a pretty good ending, you guys. But anyway, if you like humor, if you've got a little introvert, little independent person who doesn't need to be around people all the time, this is a great book. I mean, and look, all of my favorite authors have put blurbs here on the back. Mac Barnett, Monica Arnaldo, Bob Shea, Eliza Quince, Greg Pizzoli, Leanne Cho. Love Lone Wolf. So check out a Lone Wolf book today. Maybe you can check out Lone Wolf on vacation. Sorry, I spent a lot of time talking about Lone Wolf. The next book I want to have to share with you, we got in August. I love Little Owl at Night by, I have looked up how to say her name and I have forgotten it, but Divya Srisvanasan. I love the art. I love the simplicity of the story. And so here is just another little book in the Little Owl world. This is Little Owl's Fog. And you see Little Owl on the front. I love Little Owl's big eyes. Little Owl and Raccoon go on an adventure at nighttime with the bats. And then the fog rolls in. And it is so much fun at first. Look at all that fog. They're playing. But then Little Owl loses sight of Raccoon. And then it gets a little more scary. But Little Owl stayed calm and waited and thought about all the friends that were still around in the forest, like Cricket. And oh, I love this page. Look at that. The story has a very happy ending. A very, very happy ending. And the fog rolls out and you can see the stars. So again, if you like Little Owl, I'm just so excited that we have more stories from the Little Owl universe. What about the Wild Robots? Do we have any Wild Robot fans out there? So Peter Brown, the author of The Wild Robot, has written some storybooks. He has adapted The Wild Robot in the storybook romance format. So in the back, he kind of explains that, so I'm going to read that to you. Reader, The Wild Robot on the Island is actually a simplified version of The Wild Robot, which is the first in a series of novels I've written for children. I made this picture book because I wanted to depict Roz's life on the island with large, detailed, colorful illustrations. But what you've just read is only a small part of the Wild Robot story. So if you're curious to learn more about Roz and Brightville and their wild adventures, I encourage you to give the novels a read. So yeah, I was so excited to see this and to check out Peter Brown's illustrations. So again, look at that. They are big. This book is large and full of bright, bold illustrations that I am quite fond of. So we start off with a strange new creature arriving on an island in a box. Inside that box was a shiny new robot named Roz. And Roz, you know, you might think Roz is out of place on the island, but Roz didn't know. Roz thought, this is just where I belong. And she discovered that the island was wild and dangerous. But she learned from all the animals on the island. And she learned how to communicate and speak with them. And then one day, Roz found an egg, and the egg hatched. And it hatched into a goose or a gosling. And Roz raises the gosling, and she names the gosling Brightville. And Brightville learns to talk and walk and swim and fly, and they have a wonderful family together. But you know, seasons change, time moves on, and Brightville realizes that they have to migrate. They have to leave the island for a while. Roz says it's okay. She knows that Brightville will return in the spring. So we follow the story. We stay with Roz during the winter. And Roz also invites the other animals to stay in the cave when the weather's really bad. And then we stay with Roz through the spring. And then Brightville returns. I love it. So if you guys are Wild Robots fans and you want to introduce the Wild Robot to your younger kiddos, or you just love the Wild Robot and you love the illustrations and you love this version of the story, check it out. The Wild Robot on the Island by Peter Brown and published by Little Brown and Company, New York, Boston. All right, here's a book. I wasn't sure I was going to like it first. Find Your Brave, a Coco and Bear story by April Stott. Now, the illustrations in this story are absolutely charming, absolutely adorable. This is a Paula Wiseman book, Simon & Schuster books for young readers. And Coco and Bear are friends. They love kindness, going on adventures, trying new things together, and they are going to be in a talent show together. And they are at dress rehearsal. And oh my goodness, all of a sudden, Coco loses her braid. And I'm like, oh. So Bear tries to hug Coco, but it doesn't work. And so Bear tries to help Coco find her braid before the show. They ask Deer. Deer's like, I find my braid through meditation. Coco tries that. It doesn't really work. And then they go to see Rabbit. And Rabbit says, well, maybe try practicing in front of a smaller audience. And Coco does. And it gets a little better, but she's still not really feeling her braid. And then Badger is just like, I find my braid by shouting at my ear. So Coco tries that. And while things are better, she still doesn't feel like she's really found her braid. So they decide to go back and tell them that they're not going to do the talent show. And I love this illustration. But to get back, they have to go across this suspension bridge. Dun, dun, dun. And you guys, Bear gets stuck on the suspension bridge. Coco is as cool as a cucumber and helps both herself and Bear get off the bridge. And then she realizes Bear, out scared and brave at the same time. I just didn't let my fear stop me from helping you. And so she decides she's not going to let her fear stop her from being in the talent show. And she gets there and she does that she performs in the show. So at first, I really wasn't sure, but I got into it and I loved how the different animals that they go and talk to have very concrete ways of trying to help get your breath back, things that you could definitely practice and do at home. And then I liked the way that it talks about how you can be brave and scared at the same time, which is something that we forget occasionally. So it's good to have a reminder. There are other books in the Coco and Bear series. The first one is Share Some Kindness, Bring Some Light. Almost always best friends. Okay. This is a new book that we got this month here in September. It's titled Renee and Glumfoot in the Cave Downwind of the Cafe. It's a very long title. Very wild looking cover. I mean, have you ever seen a face like that before? Well, I had to pick it up and find out what was going on. This book is by Mikey. Please look at that title page. It is published by Harper, an imprint of HarperCollins. What do you think that is? Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Well, this is about Glumfoot, who grows up in a cave where every morning his father made a booger broth. Look at that, booger broth. I am not joking, booger broth. He dreamed of something sweeter. And you guys, one day a human lady named Renee builds a lonely log cafe that smells of fresh pastry. Glumfoot is so excited. Oh, his dreams are coming true. He's going to get to eat something other than booger broth. But while he's on his way to the cafe, he finds an ogre that is also on his way to the cafe to eat Renee, to eat a human. What is Glumfoot going to do? Can Glumfoot save the day and eat some pastries? Well, I don't want to give it away, but I think it might have a happy ending. I think there's some great vocabulary in this word, but too, from repulsive to crusty rotten stump to, what was the other one? Oh, delicate, super sweet, puff pastries, rose sorbet, horrible. Oh, so many wonderful definitions of grossness and sweetness. Great, great words in here. And then look, I will say towards the end of the book, there are lots of drawings of Renee and Glumfoot together. So anyway, that is Renee and Glumfoot in the Cave Downwind of the Cafe. And my last one. If you know me and my work at the library, you know I love interrupting chicken. And you guys, there's a new interrupting chicken book that we just got. Oh my goodness, it's Interrupting Chicken Saves the Nutcracker. This is written and illustrated by David Ezra Stein, and as you can see, they are at the Nutcracker. Chicken is on the stage, and Papa's like, "Chicken, get down from there." Oh yeah, you can only imagine. So yes, this is published by Candlewick Press. It's winter vacation. Little Red Chicken and Papa go to see the Nutcracker. It's Chicken's first show. They're so excited that they're on the subway on their way. Oh my goodness. And when they get there, look, there's a narrator on the stage at the Nutcracker Ballet telling the story. And we all, do you think Chicken's going to interrupt? Papa asks her not to, and she says she won't. But I have a feeling there's some interrupting happening. Oh my goodness. Now before, Chicken has interrupted at home. Chicken has interrupted at school. But I don't know that Chicken has ever interrupted out in public at a show. The hijinks, the hilarity, It's wild. And at the end, only little interrupting chicken can save the day in a very weird way. But I will say at the end, David has dedicated this book to all who dream of being on stage. And there's a little drawing of the box office. And there's a sign that says, "Do not sell tickets to these chickens." And it's Papa. Like I said, I don't want to give it away, but if you love interrupting chicken, this is a very charming addition to the series. That's all I have today. I know, I talked a lot. But if any of these are of interest to you, come up to the library, use your library card, check them out, take them home and read them. And if we can help you find something else, be sure to ask one of us. We'd love to help you find what you're looking for. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.